What is up, guys? It's your boy Nick Torius, back at it with another video, and I'm gonna be talking about astrology today, right? So hit that like, comment below what you think about the video, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it. Astrology. Whew. That was so fake. Astrology, right? Is it real? Do you be mad because you're a Virgo or a Taurus? Or do you suck because you're a Gemini? Yes, it's all true. But why is it true, right? Nick, why are you talking about astrology? What the fuck? You talking about girls? Well, it's very important because girls believe in astrology, right? So why not learn about astrology? If you don't believe in it or not, it don't really matter because girls believe in it, right? There's hoes out here that believe because they were born under certain stars that they are compatible with other dudes born under certain other stars, right? But that's just how it relates to the channel. But is astrology really real, right? Because I went through a phase where I never believed in astrology, right? And I don't think it was a phase, but all my life I never believed in that shit. Like I always knew, like I was a Pisces, and I read it on a shirt one time that Pisces are like fish, and I was like, what? That's weird. But I never really gave a fuck about it, right? Until one day. It's funny because working as a tattoo artist, you start believing a bunch of certain shit, right? Because you start like hanging out with certain people that get certain things, and it's funny how things just happen in your life, right? Like things just super change. Because I never believed in astrology, but now I do, right? And the thing is like, because if you got Instagram, there's no way that you're not seeing, like you shouldn't know about your sign, right? Because hoes be posting about their signs all the time, all fucking day, every day, right? There's like, I never watch people's stories and they'll see something about someone's signs, right? Because girls love talking about their signs, right? And the thing is, there was a point where I was talking to so many girls that I was like forced to know about those signs, right? And this is like, especially when you're tattooing them, because every girl's like, oh, I want to get my sign, right? So you're just like, okay, signs this, signs that, astrology. And it didn't make me believe in astrology, but it definitely opened the door, right? It definitely opened the doors to like, maybe I should look into this, you know? Also smoking a lot of weed, it really fucking opens the doors to believing in astrology and all that stuff. And I feel like that's why people believe in it in the first place. Because anytime someone says to me that they believe in astrology, they smoke weed. So I think it just goes hand in hand, right? Especially if you're very spiritual, because being spiritual opens you up to like all that astrology. So I feel like it's just like another part of it, you know? So is astrology real? Why not, right? I'm gonna just start, because honestly I made this video because I want to tell a story. So I'm gonna tell a story. One time I was doing some tattoos and I was tattooing a Gemini on my homegirl, right? And it's funny because I had noticed that I don't like Geminis, because a lot of times Geminis suck, right? So I was tattooing a Gemini on my homegirl, and then all of a sudden I started feeling weird vibes, right? And I was super high too. Now I don't know if I was going crazy because I was high, but I feel like a lot of times when you're high, you learn a lot of stuff, right? Like cause sometimes I'll be smoking this weed that I call it like super learning weed, because I just learn a bunch of shit. I'm just like, oh shit, so that's why this, that's why that, you know? So it like supersedes my learning, so I learned a bunch of shit. And then all of a sudden, like I was hallucinating, and then one of my hallucinations was I entered the world or the realm of Zodiac, right? I entered a whole world. Like I feel like a portal or some shit opened up, where it's like we were like, my mind was somewhere else, and me and my homeboy and my homegirl were in this world, and we were like in our true selves, I guess. And it's like I saw their auras, right? Like I saw their auras, and their auras were like, you know, because my homeboy was, because the thing is, now that I think about it, because that was the day I started believing in astrology, right? Like there was like, I never really believed in astrology, but after that day I understood astrology for some reason. I just like understood, like I was like, oh shit, it's true, it's real. Because I went into a world of astrology and I was just like experiencing the world, and I felt like I lived there, right? I feel like that was my real world, like the astrology. And it makes sense because like we're all made from stars, right? Like we're all made from stardust. Like when a star explodes, it creates dust, and the dust flows in the wind all the time, all over the place, and they all clump up together and make things, right? All the elements, they make us, and all that stuff, we're made of stars, basically, right? We're all made of stars. Basically, since we're all made of stars, why not the alignment of the stars and all that stuff matter, you know? Because the thing is, all right, I never believed in that stuff, but one thing I did believe in was that people that read their horoscopes tend to like see themselves, right? Like whatever you see yourself as, you're gonna become, basically. That's the number one rule in the laws of attraction and the secret on that shit, right? Whatever you see yourself as, you become. So if you see yourself as ugly, you'll be ugly. If you see yourself as beautiful, you'll be beautiful. If you see yourself as smart, you'll be smart, right? When you see yourself as, oh, I'm a Virgo, I'm a Taurus, I'm a Capricorn, I'm a Sagittarius, right? When you see yourself as these things and you read about who you are, you identify it, right? You identify as that. Like me, I'm a Pisces, right? So I identify as Pisces because I would always read a bunch of shit about Pisces. And I noticed that my personality started changing more and more the more I started identifying as a Pisces, right? Like I got real creative. I was hanging around other Pisces who identify themselves as Pisces. And then I would just notice the creativity, right? Like we're all super creative. And we're all like, oh yeah, because we're Pisces and we're chilling and we're cool and we're, you know, sweet and all that shit, right? And I noticed that like people like, you know, like Aries, they'll have like a lot of energy and they'll be real like rah, you know, like real rough and tough, right? And just go, they're always on go mode, right? And then I would notice that Geminis, they all suck. So I feel like because of your personality being molded by what you're reading, why not it makes sense that if a girl or if a dude, because dudes could be into astrology, it's not, you can't be sexist. If someone is into astrology and reading into their signs and shit, that they would just know that they are that because they're just reading it all the time and they're just seeing it as themselves, right? I remember one time there was this dude, right? I was at the barbershop and homeboy was like, oh, because we're talking about astrology and shit, and the dude was like, oh, what am I? And I was like, oh, he's a Taurus. And then he was like, how the fuck did you know? And it's crazy because sometimes people can't really guess it, right? Like me and my ex, we used to make fun of people that were like, oh, I'm a Virgo, so I have to like run this red light or some shit, right? Or a Taurus or whatever. Like we would always make fun of them. And then one time I was watching this video about this expert astrologer on, what the hell was it? I think it was like Jubilee or some shit, or BuzzFeed, right? And they're like expert astrologer, and I sent it to my ex, and I was like, we were laughing at him because he got most of them wrong. But the thing is like, you know, because there's a whole community, right? There's a whole world that I was always taken very far away from, because I grew up as a man of science, right? Like I grew up very scientific. Like I never grew up in all that. The word, the power of the word, the fucking chakras, spirituality, and all that shit. I never grew up in that, right? I always grew up in the Lord, God, Christ, Jesus Christ, Mary. I grew up like that, and science, right? I always grew up in molecules and all that stuff. I never grew up thinking about enlightenment. So when I started entering this world, because that's when I feel like I started becoming spiritual. Like once I was like once that happened, I took that trip into the spiritual world or some shit, and then I saw everyone's auras, and then I was like, oh shit, their auras match their signs, right? Because me and my homeboy were both Pisces, and I see both of our auras as like they were blue, right? And all the Geminis that I ever hang out with, they always got the same aura, which is bad, right? They all got bad vibes. Like now that I think about it, I feel like they're just girls with bad vibes and demons and shit. But it's like, why all the Geminis then, and why is it that every time I hang out with like anyone or talk about horoscopes with anyone, they always say the same thing: Geminis suck. Right? They always say the same thing. Like, I know I be projecting a lot, but if everyone says that Gemini suck, then why the fuck do they suck? And how the fuck is astrology not real if they all say that, right? Like, you can say whatever you want about me being a basic astrology bitch, right? But I feel like all that shit's true if you're just saying it and you're reading your horoscope every fucking day. You're gonna be believing like, oh shit, you know what? That's me. That is me. I do that. I'm like that. Even though they all say the same thing. And the thing is, I feel like horoscopes get very deep, right? Like, I feel like it's a very deep subject, but I feel like it's like coded, right? I feel like it's a kind of a coded thing where it's like, if you understand astrology, then you understand that it's real, but it's like there's a lot of fluff in it, right? And I feel like all the fluff about it is what makes people think that it's not real. Because it's like, if you want to, I was just literally saying this today, if you want to hide something, where do you hide it? In plain fucking sight. And this motherfucker's in my fucking drive. Like, why? Like my nigga, I'm in the fucking, like, bruh, this is the only parking spot like, my nigga, that's so stupid. Why the fuck are you, like, this in the whole entire neighborhood, my nigga? Like, bruh, what the fuck? But whatever. So with that being said, now he wants to move, dumb nigga. So with all that being said, is astrology real? Comment below. What do you think? Is astrology real? Have you ever seen proof of astrology? Like, have you ever seen astrology being like a real thing, or is it all fake fooey? Like the video. Give this video 2K likes. Comment below. Subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.